Salutations, everybody. For your consideration, my name is Sean Campea, and welcome to the fifth installment of our podcast, coming to you from Hollywood, California, of all places. Joining me, as always, first, starting to my immediate left, he is the founder and editor of the magnificent ThinkHero.com, the ever wild and boisterous, hard to control, Mr. Dennis Tzeng. Dennis, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm going crazy.
Woo! We're just lucky he has pants on today, folks.
Sitting to my right, he is a how do I put this this descriptive
Vagabond,
yet vague?
tall,
He is a film marketing producer.
Yeah, that'll work.
And he's Mr. Soul Video. Soul.
It's a pleasure to be here. I know I was a little late. I want to apologize. I know that the Chocolate Rain guy and my good friends Benny and Rafi have figured out how to make money off the internet. But right now, I need a full-time job, so we're shooting a little later than usual tonight.
Sitting to Soul's right, she is a writer for both Think Hero, AMC Theaters, and for Screen Rant. Miss Jennings, Roth, Cornet. Roth, how you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very excited. I have nothing charming or amusing to say. I'm a little disappointed we're on my bad side. So I'm going to do a lot of this.
Oh, is that your bad side? I keep forgetting. Okay.
Oh, double
Burn.
No, I meant that because the bad side is a myth. It's a myth. It's the funniest thing too because
son of a bitch.
Because last week we had a special guest, former senior editor for Rotten Tomatoes, now at Movie Line.
And he
Jen
didn't want to
Yamato?
show
Jen Yamato was here. I don't know why I drew a brain blank for a second. But we sat down and we're getting ready to start shooting. And she, right before we start shooting, goes, "Oh, can I move over there because that's my good side?" I'm like, what the
Thank
hell
you.
is this? And the good side, bad
Is this
side.
a gender thing? Dennis, do you have a good side?
Yes, I do.
You do? Oh,
See?
never mind.
Thank you. It's blondes and Asian people. Thank you, Jen. We're smarter than you guys.
It's a myth. It's a complete fabricated myth. But anyway, let's dive right into it here. There's a trailer that has been oddly very conspicuous in its absence. People have been asking, XMen First Class is coming up fairly soon. Why have we not seen a trailer yet? A lot of people thought we were going to see something at Super Bowl. That didn't happen. Today, we're recording this on Thursday night. Today, that trailer finally came out. The first trailer for XMen First Class has come out. Everybody at this table's had a chance to see it, yes? All right, let's start with first impressions. Dennis, we'll start with you. What did you think of this trailer? Does it increase your hope for X-Men First Class? Does it make you worried about it? What are your thoughts?
I really liked it. I know a lot of people were really worried because of the pictures they had seen before, but I was kind of reserving judgment because like superhero movies and sci-fi movies, they tend to look kind of odd in still pictures and not in motion.
Agreed, yeah.
And so I reserved judgment, and I like what I saw. And I think a lot of people did.
Roth.
Yeah, I think everybody's turning the tables now because I remember some people last week hated it. It was the worst thing ever. Yeah, it looked good. I thought it looked good. I just think it's so funny how fickle we are as audience members. But I wasn't that worried about it. I am worried about the reshoots that Vaughn apparently wasn't there for.
Soul?
Beast looks a little weird. No? I mean, it's a split second, so it's the whole Red Skull thing.
Is that
but
the shot?
Yeah, that's the one that, like, for some reason, I was totally with it. And then when he turns his face to the camera, he looked kind of goofy to me a little bit. So that, I mean, the Dragonfly chick, I'm also not familiar with at all. So that was all a little like, oh, what's her, in special power? But yeah, Beast was definitely a little strange, little puppetish.
Now,
in the face.
I didn't go frame by frame through the trailer, but that Beast shot, that was CGI. He's completely CGI there, is he not? That's the impression I got. And of course, Kelsey Grammer's Beast. Yeah, Kelsey Grammer's Beast was man in suit. That was just all makeup. Now maybe this is makeup. Maybe this Beast is in makeup. I would hope they would do that, considering that's what they did in X-Men 3.
It looks like makeups to me.
Think so?
That looks like makeups. Yeah.
Talking to your mic.
That looks like makeups.
That looks like makeups
looks like
to
the
me.
makeups.
By the way, can I apologize for the semi-racist comment I just said? Because you guys know me, but other people may not.
I won't ask you to repeat it, but I missed it entirely. Okay, my impression of it, look, the still pictures that we talked about a few weeks ago did look stupid. They looked really stupid. But one of the things that we said at this table was, that's out of context. I mean, it's just a single frame out of 24 frames per second, 60 seconds per minute. I mean, it's very difficult to gauge anything. I did think that the costumes look ridiculous. I've seen this trailer. I still think the costumes look ridiculous in this context. Having said that, I thought the trailer was amazing. I was really, honestly, completely blown away by it. And I did not have a lot of hope for this film. I mean, the film could still end up sucking. But I did not have a lot of hope for this movie before the trailer. Despite the fact that it's got a director that I am extremely big on in Matthew Vaughn. I still didn't think it looked all that good. And then the trailer comes, it's like, you know what? Now I think it's a movie.
You know what wasn't in the trailer? Magneto's bucket helmet.
Yeah,
it was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer. I thought that was
actually,
when you said that you had a shot, you had a problem with.
I have to
thought
watch
that
this
was
again.
Actually, the helmet's pretty prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
3
show
or
it,
4
like,
times.
From the back,
Yeah.
though, right? Like,
No, there's the one
from
where
the back
he,
and front.
Yeah,
Are you
he's
sure you
holding
saw
it.
the
It's a
trailer?
close-up.
Full on helmet on, Magneto looking at the camera.
Were you
No.
just watching Cop Out again
Maybe
instead of
I
the
think
X-Men
so.
trailer?
It was the just go with it.
I don't think that. I think it was a different era. And so clothes were different and things like, comics were different. Everything looked different. I think that it's kind of in line with the tone of the film. I think if anything that we should worry about with X-Men at this point is that they're shooting reshoots without the director. Like, that's what we should worry about.
Well, I tend not to get worried about that unless, once again, it's a matter of context. Like, is it a matter of they're shooting without the director because the studio didn't like what Matthew Vaughn is doing? Or is it they're shooting reshoots because... without Vaughn, simply because, you know what? All we need to do is this and this. You can take care of that. I'm going to go off.
Yeah,
and do
no,
this
that's
thing.
true. Let me just go ahead and jump to conclusions, though.
But it could be but honestly, I think it's valid to bring it up because if it is the former, then that's very concerning. If it's the latter, no big deal. But we don't know the context of that. How did you think the new Professor Charles Xavier came across? Sol, what did you think?
Honestly, I was fine with that. I was fine with that because of the era, like J-Ro just said, the time that it's being shot in. And I think his character and that actor can be successful there. So I didn't have a problem with him. I didn't even have a problem with Magneto. But I don't know. I'm like I said, some little things throw me off, like the CG on Beast and how Magneto is going to come across when he's actually front and center. So
What do you think? Does James McAvoy pass
James
as
McAvoy has my vote.
Charles Xavier?
Yeah, I think he's actually a really talented guy, and I think that he does pass as Xavier. He doesn't quite have the same
rate him
energy.
on the Ben Foster scale of acting.
I mean, that's not fair. You know what I mean? That's like asking me to as far as I'm concerned, Ben Foster is Paris and every other actor is Cleveland. So it's just not fair.
All right.
So
it's not a fair comparison.
it's not a fair comparison for anyone, but I think
hate mail from Cleveland coming.
I'm really winning tonight in terms of offending people. So let me just keep going with that.
Number one export, of course, is crippling depression. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh God, yeah, no, I think he's a talented guy. I don't think he has quite the same vibe, as Patrick Stewart does in sort of like the stateliness that he has. But I don't think he's supposed to.
When you're 20 or like whatever age he's supposed
right.
to be.
Like I don't think I don't think he's supposed
you know what?
to.
I'm right with you on that. I was thinking that exact same thing, thinking he doesn't carry that almost that majestic feel that Patrick Stewart just brings with him wherever he goes. And then it gets to the end of the trailer, where he says that little thing, that little bit of wisdom, Magneto, something, my friend.
Won't bring you peace.
Yeah,
killing others will not bring you peace.
And the way he spoke it and the way he said it, it didn't sound like Patrick Stewart, but it had the feel of Patrick Stewart to me. And I was like, you know what? Now I'm bought in. I can see this guy as the young Professor Charles Xavier.
You know what
now.
they could have done? They could have gone Jeff Bridges Tron on him and just used Patrick Stewart again. I think it could have been really successful.
Laugh.
And de-aged him like in Wolverine. That was awesome.
That's exactly what a lot of people were calling for. They saw what they did in X-Men 3 at the beginning of the film with the younger Magneto and the younger Charles, and said, just do the whole movie that way.
And then they saw Tron, and they're like, wait, cast James
It's a huge
McAvoy.
mistake. Yeah, I think the part of the film, the journey of the film, is him coming to that place. So I think that I think that that Magneto, his counterpart, is going to be tough to. He's got a lot of strength and a lot of intensity. So it's going to be interesting to see him try and keep up and then outmatch him.
I think when it all comes down to it, I think, now I haven't read the script. This is pure bullshit on me. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. But I think by the time X-Men First Class is done, I think we're going to sit around and say, you know what, this movie was actually about Magneto. Because he's the character in this who has the farthest journey to travel. Because he is going from hero to, in the Marvel Universe, the greatest villain that ever lived, or the most powerful villain that ever lived, maybe most misunderstood character. I'll just say right up front. I think Magneto's my favorite Marvel character in all of the Marvel universe because he is so powerful, yet at the same time confused, at the same time misunderstood, at sometimes evil, sometimes good. I mean, and that's just something about that character I like. But I think by the end of this movie, we're going to say X-Men First Class was actually really about Magneto. But anyway, let's move on from that, but stick on the topic of trailers. Super Bowl Sunday was this past week. We filmed our last episode just before the Super Bowl, in which I erroneously predicted that the Pittsburgh Steelers would win 27-17.
To be fair, I also erroneously predicted the Chicago Bears would get 417 points.
Yes.
So we can't hold that much against you.
Yay, team no rape.
So here's a question. During the Super Bowl this year, loaded with the mini trailer commercials. Loaded with them. What, like 10 of them? We're in there. Cowboys versus Aliens, Captain America,
It's the new Comic-Con.
Transformers 3, Battle Los Angeles. The list went on and on and on. A lot of them. So the question I have for you guys is, having seen all of them, because they are all, I think you've got them all up on Think Hero. They're all up on AMCtheaters.com. What mini trailer won the Super Bowl? Sol, we'll start with you. Which out of all those to you stood out as that was the best one?
Fast Five. Then no, I'm just kidding. I think if you hadn't seen the Transformers trailer before, I think that could have hit home with a lot of in Middle America or just people that weren't familiar with seen any of the stuff for Transformers. I think Captain America was kind of cool, but it was a little underwhelming for me. Of course, we were lucky enough to see or be familiar with a lot of the Cowboys and Alien stuff that came out. I don't know. It's kind of a toss up. Nothing really jumped out at me.
Not even
from the list.
Panda 2 Kaboom of Doom. I mean,
What about you,
Well,
Roth? What was
Panda.
the best one? Which one of that bunch jumped out to you the most?
I feel like the one that surprised me the most in that I thought it looked good was Captain America, because I didn't have huge hopes for that, and I thought it looked really good. I thought the CGI in his body was awesome. It was really well done, very realistic. He looked when he was a
skinny and weakling.
Yeah, when he was a skinny mini, 90-pound weakling. And then Thor is the one that I'm most excited about, but I was already kind of the most excited about that. But most intriguing was oh gosh.
Rio.
Super 8. Super 8. And I'm going to make a prediction here just based on the music in it. The alien's not a monster. I think
Dennis.
he's a good guy.
In terms of my favorite, there was two. They're actually different from who I thought won. My two favorites were Cowboys and Aliens and Battle Los Angeles. The simple fact that Keith Carradine, who played Wild Bill Hickok and Deadwood, and he's in Cowboys and Aliens, that won it over for me. But the one that actually won was actually Captain America, because a lot of people were skeptical, like you were, about the movie.
Yeah.
And that one had the biggest reaction on Twitter of people kind of 180ing, kind of like X-Men.
Yeah. Well, Battle Lily looked great, but it already looked great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you were prepared for it to look great.
I was very, very happy with the Captain America one. I wasn't overly blown away by it, though, simply because, really, when you walk away from that trailer, all it was the skinny body shot. And that's an easy shot.
Red Skull was in there, too.
Yeah, a split-second Red Skull, which is cool, and he does look awesome.
Better than Beast.
The skinny body shot, though, I thought is a fairly simple shot. I mean, it's just... all you got to do is you got to show a skinny...
You starve him for 3.5 months.
You go Christian Bale on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Evans was like, I ain't Bale, kids.
No,
You know?
but I mean, it's the
Yeah,
right
not
thing. They
losing
need to do that. I think...
You're like, I got some shit to do.
You're gonna have to CGI that shit.
I think there were a lot of comic fans that were hoping to see that they would be faithful to that Captain Steve starts as a very skinny guy, and then the super serum is what beefs him up, and they did that, and I think everybody got happy about that. I don't think there's a question about which was the best commercial in all this. That was Transformers 3. This is a film that is coming off one of the worst sequels in the history of film. I don't know that you can get much worse.
Robot Heaven, Campea.
I don't know if you can get much worse,